Alrighty guys, I am back with another video today. Welcome back to the channel. I'm glad you came to watch this video. During my Etune process, the past few months while doing my Etune process, even though I have everything step by step, I still get questions as to how to do some of the steps. So I'm gonna make these videos in terms of showing you guys what I expect. That way it's easy to follow and you guys actually see me doing it. I'm not actually gonna go out and do a Wot log or anything like that because I just kind of busy, but I'll show you what, in the general sense of what should happen during the process of e-tuning with me. So if you purchased a Etune from me, you should get an email about updating your Accesport. All Accesports should be updated. You would take your Accesport, hook it up to your computer, download Accesport Manager, which I provide the link to, and you would hit update. Once that is done, you're gonna send me an email saying that you are done. Please do not Facebook message me. The thing with that is that I get a lot of messages. And as I said in previous emails, I start from the bottom and work my way up. So if you send me an email and it's been less than 24 hours and you send me another one, you technically just put yourself at the last of the list, because even though you replied, if it goes to the top, I could have been just getting to yours next. But since you replied before 24 hours, it's gonna move to the top. So please wait. I normally try to get out maps within a reasonable time, okay? As I am growing, I'm getting more of a customer base and workflow. So I need to, sometimes I just get busy and I can't respond instantly sometimes. So I have it to where I try to at least respond to everybody's email at least once per day if I'm super busy. So once you send me an email saying your Accesport is updated, the next email you're gonna get is loading and flashing the car with the new map. And I'm about to show you guys the process of that if you did not know. Alrighty, so you're gonna turn the car to the on position, accessory on, not fully on, okay? You're gonna come over to your Accesport, right? You're gonna hit back, you're gonna go down to tune, and then you are going to pick change map. Well, you're gonna have to hit reflash first, and then you are gonna find the map that I provided you with. So just for example, this is the map. I'm gonna click it. Let me clean the screen off. All right, it's gonna tell you the battery charger is recommended. It's gonna tell you the volts, blah blah blah. Hit continue, and then it's gonna flash the first part, okay? So then you have to sit here and wait for this to flash. Once the flashing is done, it is going to say, please turn and leave the ignition in the off position to begin vehicle reinitiation. So I'm gonna turn the car to off position, and then I am going to hit OK. It's gonna take a couple seconds to flash this, voila. And then it's gonna tell you to please turn on the ignition key. So I'm gonna turn it on. And then I am going to hit continue. All right, and then it's gonna tell you to please turn off the car and wait 15 seconds. So I'm gonna hit continue. I'm gonna turn off the car. It is very important that you wait the 15 seconds. That way the car can properly reset itself. If you do not, then the car does not fully reset itself. So now I'm gonna turn the car to the on position, wait for this all to set, okay? I'm not gonna turn on the car yet, okay? Some people can to allow the car to warm up, but I need to show you guys something. And it is recommended that you do not turn on the car until you follow the next step. So once the map is flashed, I tell everybody to email me, and that way I can send you the next part, which is the data logging part, okay? So the data logging part at the top is gonna explain what to log on this menu and then what to log on the actual data log menu, okay? So it's gonna tell you to come over to gauges, it's kind of dark, but it's going to tell you to come over to gauges. You are going to hit up. It's going to highlight that arrow. You're going to hit the middle button, and then you're going to select. If you haven't already, make sure that your gauge layout is 6 gauges. Change units to Imperial. Yes. Configure data logging, okay? Every item that I list on the email, which is going to change, okay? So some of the older model WRXs and STIs can't log as much stuff as this. So normally I will make adjustments to the logging item. The logging item that you're about to see on mine is what I personally do on my own car. I don't have customers log as much stuff as me. I just wanted to show you guys a general how to do this logging part, because I get a lot of questions about it. Okay, so everything on the list I need you guys to log, and it needs to have a green dot next to it. Everything that I tell you guys to log. So AF correction, if it has a gray dot, it's not being logged. And to log it, all you have to do is just hit the middle button. Boom. Okay. AF learning's a good one. AF sensor 1 ratio, exhaust left, right, AVCS intake left, right, and then you would just hit back once, and then you're gonna hit it again. Okay, and that's gonna set up the data logging aspect that I can view. Okay, if you miss an item, most of the time I need to tell you to redo the log, because some people don't put engine RPM or some people don't put boost, and I need to go back and recheck that. The next part is changing just these 6 gauges, which after tuning you can change it to whatever you want. I just have it set up the way I do to make it a little bit easier while tuning process. Okay, and I'm going to change one of these real quick. I'm going to change the Find Knock Learn to AVCS intake so I can give you guys a better walkthrough of that, right? So I'm going to do AVCS intake left. All right, so once this is done, you are then going to email me, and I'm going to tell you the next step to do. Okay, so the next step that's going to come up is the idle log. So I'm going to tell you to warm up the car, okay, and don't touch the throttle, don't do anything until the AF sensor, this sensor right here, the air fuel sensor starts fluctuating. Okay, once it starts moving, then you should be good to drive the car, and once the car is fully warmed up. One of the biggest things about letting the car warm up, even if it's warm, allow the AF sensor to fluctuate. It gives enough time, most of the time, for the AVCS sensor to reset. Okay, what's gonna happen is once you start this car after a reflash, and this is only after a reflash, once after we're done tuning and we're not reflashing the car no more, and you start up your car, you don't need to worry about AVCS resetting. It's only when you reflash the car. Okay, what's gonna happen is this is gonna go up so many and down so many as it resets, and it's gonna happen quick, so you're not gonna be able to see it all the time, and I'm gonna show you guys that. So I'm gonna start the car, and you're gonna see how fast it does it. It's gonna go to -5, and it should slowly work its way. It's gonna happen really fast. By the time the car fully warms up and idles fine, it should, your AVCS intake, if you're on a 6-speed WRX FA20, it should go anywhere from -1 to 0. On a CVT, you're looking at +10 to +20, anywhere in between that. And just some advice on the AVCS intake, okay? While this is warming up, AVCS will not reset if the car is below a certain coolant temp. Normally it's 160 degrees, and it will not reset unless coolant temp is above that. If, for whatever reason, you're too excited and you quickly just jump in the car, reflash the map, and then can just straight off driving, AVCS is not gonna reset. And when you do a watt pull, shit can go bad, very bad. It's either gonna hit a wall, or you're not gonna have enough boost, or you're gonna have too much boost. It can go either way. Alrighty, once the car has fully warmed up, your AVCS intake for regular, manual WRX FA20 should show 0 to -1. Okay, once that is done, you are good to go. You can go out, do the log, and send me the log back. And then every time that I send you a revision and you reflash the map, you need to wait for the air fuel ratio to start fluctuating and AVCS intake to be at 0 or -1. So on with the idle log. I'm gonna turn the car off, that way I'm not doing an actual idle log, okay? So, because my car's pretty loud and my neighbors would probably say something. What I need you to do on the idle log is, I'm gonna change it up a little bit, but in a general sense, it's either gonna be just a 2-minute idle log without you touching anything, or it's going to be an idle log where you let it idle for 2 minutes, don't touch anything, and then you go up to 2K, you hold it there as steady as possible for a minute or a couple, about 30 to a minute, and then you go up to 3K, and that's about it. I have some people go up to 4 sometimes. I know it kind of gets loud, but I want to make sure that all the trims are fine, especially in the idle area. On the CVTs, it's a little bit harder to hold it steady at the higher RPMs. So sometimes I don't care if a customer just sends me a idle log without touching anything. Once that is done, which I'm gonna show you guys real quick, hold on. In order to log the car, if my Accesport would turn on, in order to start the log, all you have to do is hit this middle button while you're doing the log, and once you're done with the log, all you do is hit it again. Once the idle log is finished, you will then send me the idle log, and I will send you guys the next step, which is the driving and cruising logs. With those, it's mainly drive for 5 minutes as you would normally drive the car. While you're doing this, what I'm checking is to make sure that what type of knock is showing, where's the fuel trims at, where's the boost coming in at, just giving an overall feel of the car. I also do this as backup proof to show if the car was knocking or doing something strange. That way I have it documented. Cruising log, you're going to just go somewhere on a long road, keep the throttle steady, have it in 5th or 6th gear, whatever gear you prefer cruising in if you're like on the highway or whatnot, and you're gonna send me that log. The same steps applied to that. Make sure when you reflash the map, you allow AVCS and the air fuel sensor to fluctuate, and then you can start the log. Once I receive that log, the next log that customers get is the fun part, okay? It's the wide open throttle part, and you need to make sure that you do it on a road that is flat, that doesn't go uphill or downhill, or a road that is not overpopulated by cars, okay? Make sure you find a secure area. I know some people use on-ramps or off-ramps, blah, blah, blah. I've done it in the past too. Just be safe and think about the choices of what roads you're picking to do Wot logs. Obviously, dyno is always better, but if you're getting an Etune, then obviously you don't have a dyno near you and you just want to get an Etune and you want to get a street tune. Okay, the Wot logs in general it's fairly simple. Okay, some people still manage to kind of mess it up. When I ask you for a Wot log, I don't want a whole bunch of extra data of before the Wot log or anything like that. If you're driving out to the location, do not hit the logging button while driving out to the location, okay? So, in a general sense, once you find the road that you're on, you are going to cruise and get in third gear, okay? Because fourth on the street is kind of really dangerous and sketchy. You're gonna put the car in the third gear, and you're gonna get around 2K RPM, okay? Steady, 2K RPM, okay? You are gonna, as you're keeping it steady at 2K RPM in third gear, you're gonna come over here, you're gonna tap this, and then, you know, come back to driving, and then you are going to 100% mash the throttle to the ground. I don't know how many times I've had to tell people to repeat the Wot log because they're only 50%. You know, just 50%. You need to be 100% from 2K all the way up to 6,500 RPM, okay? Once you are done with the Wot log up at the top, like right where you go into neutral and you're slowing down, come over here and hit that, okay? I shouldn't need to see a whole bunch of data going to the place or before. It should be a little bit of data going from 2K all the way up to redline, and that's all I should see, okay? It makes things a lot simpler. That way I don't have to tell a customer to go back out and redo the log because there's a whole bunch of data and I just don't feel like going through all the data, okay? It just takes up too much of time, and then I'm sitting there like, huh, like this is, by doing that, you're holding up my time to get to other customers. So I'm just gonna make you redo the log, okay? You're then going to send me the log, and we're gonna go back and forth and do a couple of pulls, okay? I try to get the pulls done very quick. Some cars are just a pain in the ass and decide to be assholes, and it takes a lot more than just a few pulls, okay? Or if customers do them wrong, then we have to keep doing more and more and more, okay? Once we are done with the Wot log, we get to even more fun part, the final pull, to make sure that the car is running good in first, second, third, and possibly fourth, okay? I call it the all gear Wot pull. It's obviously not a full all gear Wot pull because you're not using fifth or sixth. Some people can't use fourth. But what I want you to do in that sense is, once you find a secure road with no cars, anything like that, you put the car in first gear, you get to about 2K-ish, hold it steady, come over here, hit the log button, and fucking mash this throttle and drive it like how you're gonna fucking, like you just stole the car, okay? You're going to wide open throttle it, shift, put it in the second, wide open throttle, go up to red line, shift again to third, wide open throttle, all the way to red line. And if you have fourth, fuck it, you know, send it, put it into fourth, and go all the way up to red line if you have the room. Once you are done with the log, right after you're done, after you let off the throttle, come over here and hit the stop button. If everything looks good and you send it to me and everything looks good, then the tune's done. You can go out, enjoy the car, and have some fun, you know, race some people, see how the new tune fits your style. If you like it, you know, give feedback, and you know, the job is done. And that right there in a nutshell is how to properly do the whole Etune process. I don't think I left anything out. I don't think so. But if any of you guys have any more questions, you can post up and I will, you know, obviously reply with an answer to that question. I will be including this link in all the updated tunes I send. That way customers can use this as a reference and don't need to waste anybody's time, and we can just get to work and get the tune done. So thanks for watching the video, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I hope this explains how to properly do the Etune procedure, and I hope you guys have a good day. See you later.